right, day 8 of 12 days of crafting, and we will be creating a sublimation t-shirt. The image was printed on the Sawgrass 500 with the bypass tray. The paper I used to print on is the HTV Runt 8.5 by 14. Today, the shirt I will be using, of course, is the Cricut brand sublimation shirt. I also like the Vivor shirts because they feel more like cotton, even though they are polyester, and they sub very nice as well. So I'm just going to get some butcher paper. I do place butcher paper inside the shirt to keep it from bleeding through, because sometimes with the color release, it can go all the way through. So you always want to make sure that you're protecting whatever you are subbing onto, whether it's a shirt, coaster, tumbler, whatever the case may be. And then you also want to protect whatever you're pressing with, because sometimes the images can bleed onto your heat press or bleed onto your tumbler press. And then the next time you go to put something in it, you have a uh-oh. So here I am just struggling with trying to get the paper in the inside and to get it like to lay flat so that I can get the image on top of it. It was giving me a little run for my money, and probably because I was trying to stay out of the camera. I did sit it up on the tripod. I was trying to maneuver it so that so much of my arm and shoulder wasn't in it. But then I had a second thought about how I wanted to do this shirt, because this is not a crew neck shirt. It is a V-neck. It's a women's shirt. So the neckline on the shirt, I didn't want to like place the image and the image almost be like where your belly is on the shirt. So again, trying to get this butcher paper in the inside to act right. It was just doing its own thing. It was giving me a hard time. That little roller that you saw that I pulled the butcher paper off is by Melissa and Doug. It's actually a children's craft item, but it comes in handy. It also has adhesive on the bottom of it, so like if you had a permanent place to put it at, you could actually have it so that it stays stuck to whatever table or area wall that you want it on. But seeing that I need mine to move because this is a cart, so both sides of this cart go down, I did not tack mines down. So here I'm just trying to again figure out the placement with this paper and the heat press. I'm using the Cricut Auto Press. So with the image that I printed out, I am going to cut it, and I'm going to place the My Day on one side and the Grinch face on the other side, and then the rest of the image like towards the middle of the shirt. I just thought it looked cuter that way versus just putting it all in one spot. So here I'm just checking for my placement, and then of course my heat tape, which is almost gone now that I'm doing the voiceover. I do need to replace that. This particular heat transfer tape, get it off of Amazon. I think it's like 3 rolls for $6. I'm not sure. But they always include it in like an extra one in there, or whatnot. So back to the image, just taping down the image, because of course I do not want it to move or cause any ghosting when I go to press the image down. So just making sure I put a few pieces of tape to keep it where it needs to be at. All right, so I have it pretty much where I want to press it at. I was just sliding that butcher paper up again just to make sure that it is up under the pictures that I'm going to press down. I probably should have put a piece of tape on the butcher paper in the inside, and that probably would have helped it from shifting each time I slid the shirt. But I think I got it where I wanted it. So I am going to use the Teflon sheet because I didn't grab the butcher paper that I pulled off to protect the heat press. So, and again, I'm pressing at 400 degrees for 50 seconds. Now, that might not be the recommended time and temp according to Cricut, but it works for me. Sometimes I check the website, sometimes I don't. It just all depends on what you're pressing, and you have to play with the temperature sometimes when it comes to sublimation and whatever you're subbing on. So let's see where I'm going to place this at. I am going to go ahead and pull the pieces that we subbed off. Look at there. Look at that color. It still seemed like it had a little bit more color on it than I would have liked. But of course, by it being a V-neck and with putting the pressure in the two areas that I was pressing on, I think that had something to do with the color release. But of course, it's still vibrant. I like it. And because I did take those pieces off, I did use a piece of butcher paper because, of course, that ink is going to bleed because I'm pressing the other part of the image down. That's another thing. If you're sublimating on something, you have to do it twice. Be careful how long you actually put the heat down on the area that you've already sublimated onto, because sometimes it can cause the color to come out a little bit depending on how long you press it down for. But again, 400 degrees, 50 seconds, and let us see how this turns out. Y'all see my little struggle tree back there? It's from my she shed, so we have a tree in the she shed. And that is the bleed that came through on the paper. And look at that. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it came out nice. Thanks for watching.